So I was driving along the freeway one day, and I had the Mexican radio station on. I hear this accordion and some kind of twangy 12-string guitar playing, and two guys singing in Spanish in beautiful harmony. It just knocked me out, and so I pushed the cassette in. Then and recorded that tune. They announced it. I didn't understand what the guy was saying, so I went home, drove straight home. Picked up the phone and called Chris Strakowitz of our Hooley Records, whom most of you might know, who's foremost record collector, folk music historian, you know, that I knew very well. I played this to him over the telephone in a cassette machine. What is this? He says, oh, that's Norteño, that's Texas Mexican. Those are Los Alegres de Terán, those two people you heard there on the radio. I said, wow, do you have any of this stuff? He says, oh, yes, I'm studying this now. I have, 10,000 albums. Which was true that he did. So Susie and I flew up there the next day, got to Berkeley, and went through the collection, found that song on an LP and many others. So I was convinced at that moment, that it came to me, this is the way to orchestrate or create an instrumental setting for the tunes that I like. Not keyboard. I'm scared of 88 keys and 10 fingers. It's too much. Too many guitars on stage. Sounds like, chickens fighting. Too many, it gets stringy and ampy. So what do you want? But this beautiful fluid sound of this accordion, I didn't even know what it was, except I knew it was an accordion. Then I saw pictures. Oh, it's a little thing with buttons, 3 rows, Oh, that's diatonic accordion, said Chris. Okay, so I went down to the corner music store and got one. And I got, he gave me some albums. Went back to Los Angeles, started playing this thing with the records. It was very hard, because it's different notes in and out like a harmonica. It's the way it works. Then I said to him, I called him up 6 months later. I said, okay, I get how this instrument works. I see what can be done. Now, I have to find somebody who can play this with me, that I can work with, And he says, well, we're going, Les Blank and I, the filmmaker, we're going down to the border to film this music. Come along with us. So Susie and me got in the plane, we went down there, and went around, did different little border towns, McAllen and Reynosa and different places. Traveling with Chris Strakowitz is a whole story I should tell you sometime, because he never slept. He drove, the rent-a-car through Texas, and it was long distances, and he didn't rest, and it was a human dynamo, wore me out. Then one day we pull up in front of this little cinder block house in West San Antonio. There's another world, all barrio, huge, everything written in Spanish, and went up the door and knocked, and Flaco Jimenez came to the door. I was 30-odd years old, and he was younger. And he knew we were coming, so come on in. He sat down, and after a while he played the accordion. I said, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever heard. This is it. Pay dirt, I can do this. I know this is going to work. So I asked him, can you play songs other than what you already know, or is this something, because I had noticed about these players, they didn't improvise. If they learned a song or recorded a song, it never changed. The intro, the little connecting runs between the lines in the chorus, it's verse-chorus music like country music is, but never changed, which is good, because you're never disappointed. You never went to the cantina and felt bad because the little connecting runs were different, So that was good, I thought. But then I thought, I asked him, you think, oh, sure. He says, what song would you like to do? He's very open and eager, even. So in that afternoon, I thought fast, and I said, I know one. Sounds kind of like what you guys do. It's in 3/4 time, which they call corrido. It's always in 3/4 time. And it's a nice old tune. I asked your mother for your Irene good night, and he played da-da-da-da. And then I sang, I had a guitar, Irene good night, be-do-do-do, he played. Then I knew, this is it. Now this is my life work. Now this is what I'm going to do. So he had the ability to immediately absorb a tune and give it back to you in his setting. And Irene was the first one because it was so, I don't know where Leadbelly got the tune from, who knows? So he was, you know, and he played 12-string just like a bajo sexto, with the bass runs and all that, tuning it low. So it's hard to, no one's ever looked into that, and I wasn't around Leadbelly. But anyway, we went from there, Flacco and I, and then his group, and it got me thinking what tunes they would like. If it was in cumbia, they would say, well, that's a cumbia, you know, or if it was straight beat, they'd say, that's ranchera. So as soon as I got to know the forms, then I could pick the tunes that would suit them. And pretty soon we had a show together, and we went on tour.